everyone. Today I have Mr. John Lim. Mr. John K.S. Lim is not an author, not someone, not a financial advisor, not anyone that you would have known, but he's one of my very supportive blog reader. And on my trip to KL, actually I got to meet John. Mr. John is a 56 years old retiree, and the reason I actually say that, hey John, let's come on that I want to interview is because John has actually achieved his financial freedom at the age of 56. He's fully retired. Hi John, how are you today?
Hi CF, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, so perhaps you want to introduce yourself to one of my readers, all my readers. Yeah, I'm very interested to know you.
Well, as you said, I am a 56-year-old retiree, but as far as the pace of financial freedom is concerned, I guess it's very subjective.
Yep.
I would say that I'm at the stage of my life where I can choose whether I would like to get involved in any income generating activities or just to sit back and relax and enjoy myself.
Wow.
At the present moment, I'm doing a little bit of both. I am also, like what I've told CF, involved in a very non-income generating activity, being an unpaid Pascola driver.
For
my children.
Yes. Twins. You're still in secondary school, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, and other than that, maybe you have you have how many kids again? John?
Okay, a little bit more background of myself. I have 3 children. One is already settled down. 2 are still in school. I am a ex-banker, ex-IT consultant, who stumbled along the way to force myself out of my comfort zone when I realized that after I joined the consultancy line that I was giving up certain of the assumed benefit that I have been enjoying to date, which was a contribution to my EPF account. So based on that, it triggered me to say that, hey, you need to do something because your EPF account is no longer growing, and if you keep on enjoying yourself as you are enjoying yourself today, you will end up with nothing at the end of the day when you decide to retire.
That's interesting because you say you have about like more than 10 years, yeah, maybe close to 20 years as a banker, and people on the street will have thought banker, they have, when it comes to finances, they have all the finances are in order, and they are like make a lot of money. So why is that a concern, or don't you have the awareness before you actually came out and join this consultancy line, which is more like a freelance basis?
Well, basically as a banker, our aim is not to make money for ourselves, but to help our customers make money or make sure that they don't lose money. But a lot of time we do not practice what we preach. So while we do help our clients to manage their affairs, the same cannot be said about ourselves.
Wow.
And a lot of people always feel that, because I'm working in the bank, there's comfort. We get our bonuses, we get our performance bonuses. Everybody tends to be contented and assume that things will always continue.
Right.
Then when I moved on into the consulting line and I moved offshore, that was when I suddenly realized that, there goes all my additional perks, and I'm just drawing a basic salary after that.
Wow.
And on top of that, this basic salary do not come with any further contribution or enhancement to my EPF, which became dormant and not growing after that point of time.
It's really an eye-opener, right? Coming from an ex-banker, and it's pretty ironic when you say that's pretty a big statement. Say bankers, not to generalize, but bankers, they don't preach what they don't practice what they preach. Yeah, that's pretty a bold statement. Will you say so? Now that you're retired and not in this banking line.
Well, for me, I would say that it's from my own personal point of view.
Yeah.
That's how I felt myself doing.
Oh.
I would not say it's a general statement. There may be bankers out there who are aware of this and are practicing what they are preaching,
Right.
while there are still also some of us who do not practice what we preach.
Right.
Yes.
So and you told me during our brief meeting in KL, yeah, you told me that you actually on your own when you are like in your early 40s, yeah.
Yes.
And then you were saying that you started off and you also have a lot of try and error when your experience when you say, okay, I want to invest certain part of money and stuff. So maybe you can tell a bit on that.
Well, trial and error in the sense that when I first started off, I did not really understand what I was doing. My aim was to create a reserve that will help me to generate what I would term my second EPF.
Right.
Because my first EPF is
Right.
already there. It's now stuck. It's now only growing by the annual dividend that is being paid by EPF. There's no further contribution or addition to the fund.
Yeah.
So I need to try to start a new second EPF that will now continue to grow. But at the very beginning, of course, without any guidance, without any knowledge, what we tried to do was to try to get something as fast as possible. So you jump in, you go into the stock market, you go on hot tips, you try and buy shares, and you try to sell, and 8 times out of 10, you end up decreasing your reserve rather than adding on to it.
Okay.
Because every time you buy and sell, the price goes up a bit, but all the fees and commission eats into the net proceeds that you have. So you may make 5%, 10%, but ultimately when you factor out all the charges and the cost of the cost of holding, the net increase is actually very, very minimal. Then sometime along the way, I came across a book which was written by a very well-known unit trust consultant at the point of time.
Right.
And the book captured my attention because the title of the book was Financial Freedom.
Right.
This was a book that was published by the management of the now defunct KL Mutual Fund.
Okay.
Back in the late 90s.
Okay.
Having read through that book, it got me into thinking, hey, the book is very simple to read, very comprehensive, provide you step-by-step guidance on how to aim towards achieving financial freedom, as well as to how to go about doing it. And of course, one of the things that they stated, which at that point of time I found it very hard to accept, was that you need time. And I was like, I don't have time. I want to grow rich fast. I can't afford to have the time.
Okay.
But then, looking back on what I had been doing earlier on, you notice that as you try to grow rich faster, you end up actually becoming poorer.
Faster. It works against you, right? This kind of approach.
I decided to give it a try. Try to practice what was written in the book. And I approached my banker and said, guys, look, I need to do something and I want to invest in unit trust. And of course, being people who are trying to promote unit trust, they just tell you, okay, buy fund A, buy fund B, buy fund C. And I had a look at it and I came away and said, look, something is not right. He doesn't even understand what I want to do. All I said is I want to do some investment without really understanding who I am, what is my risk profile, what is my time horizon.
Right.
He has already
sold you.
He has already identified what
Right.
fund he feels I should require.
He's mind reader,
Oh, I thought he read my mind perfectly, but then when I came out of the from the initial meeting, I said that I don't think he knows what I actually want. So I came back home, sat down. Sorry, the microphone came down.
No problem.
Okay. So I came back home, sat down, and then decided, okay, I need to understand a bit further about all these investments, and then before I decide how to go about doing it, and started buying magazines, books to read about the various unit trusts that are available in the market. At that point of time, we only have The Age, which came out once a week. There was no Personal Money yet. And had to fall back on his book, and then went to his company to try to get information about what are the various types of unit trusts that are available. And found out to my dismay that that particular company, the funds that are distributed by them were not really available and everywhere. And this was in the day of the beginning of how you can buy unit trusts through banks, where only very limited funds were available from the banks.
Right.
So I decided to look up what the bank that I was banking with was offering, and started to go and look at obtain the annual reports of the unit trust, and went through and see which were the type, or which were the ones that I felt suited me, and could actually achieve my objective for me. Then, without any big amount of outlay, I decided I would like to do a monthly savings plan, and which was my second hurdle when I went to the bank and said, okay, I think I know what I want. I want to buy this particular fund, and I want to do it on monthly basis. And then the banker turned around and tell me, what do you mean to do it on a monthly basis? People normally buy unit trust. They can't tell me, okay, here's 5,000 ringgit, invest in the unit trust. They go away and we never see them again until they come and tell me, I want to sell. So I said, no, I want to slowly invest, and I said, I want to do a monthly deduction from my account, and for you to buy this unit trust for me on a monthly basis. And he says, we can do it, but this is not the recommended way of investing in unit trust. So when I asked why, he said, normally, people buy unit trust in a lump sum. When the unit trust goes up by a certain margin, they sell and then they buy again. And I said, but if I sell and the unit trust continue to go up, what will happen? Well, then you buy back into the same unit trust. And I said, then why do I have to sell in the first place?
Yes.
So reluctantly they agreed, and that was how I started doing monthly installments, monthly savings to buy my unit trust. Initially, like what I mentioned, it was a bit difficult because suddenly, having enjoyed the full amount of my salary for the last couple of months, suddenly I found I had less money to enjoy.
Yes.
It had to some adapting to. So for me, it was something like what I said. I needed to move out from my comfort zone and to be able to adapt to a new reality of living with what I have left over after all my investment have been done.
I see. That's great. It seems like, if I can summarize two things over what we have shared, John, is that firstly, you went through a lot of hurdles and obstacles and DIY to find out if I know what I want, then the next step is how do I actually do that. So there's a lack of information at that age, like maybe in 1990s, right? Somewhere,
yes,
something like that.
This was in the late 90s, the early 2000s.
Early 2000s. What you wish you have at that time? What you wish? I mean, you have it. You wish there's someone there to actually guide you, or what you have. What you wish you
At
had?
that point of time, I guess what was really lacking was the availability of financial information, financial education, financial information.
Right.
There were hardly any financial blogs available during that point of time.
Right.
In the banking industry, people normally all the really well-to-do really have got their own private bankers who really know how to guide them along the way. For the man in the street, it was like, hey, why do I bother? I have my EPF at the end of the day to fall back on. I have my house, I have my savings, and that should be more than enough for me. You know, but over time you realize that as inflation creeps in, as the cost of living goes up, what you have ultimately is not going to be sufficient for you. And books on finances were on this type of financial investments were few and far in between. The first one I came across was the one I mentioned, Financial Freedom. And then, of course, towards the early 2000s, started reading books by Robert Kiyosaki. And initially, you know, you just tend to follow what he says, what the book says, and then after a while you realize that, you know, what all these financial books are good at is to actually give you an idea of how things can be done, but not how things must be done.
Okay, you still need really the steps to do it.
Yeah, you really still need to understand that what is being written is a lot in theory. All the practical applications are never provided for you. I'm sure there's a reason for that. But you need to find out how to really apply it to yourself, and not just follow what is stated in the book or in the books blindly. You will never be able to achieve what they say in the book if you just follow what is stated in the book blindly.
So yeah, there's one interesting thing you talk about. You are aware of this inflation, you know, diminish our purchasing power. But you know, I've talked to people and they are still like, say, oh, this one also they got raised, that one also got raised. Then they was like, okay, everything put in FD lah. But then because that is what they are comfortable with. But now you have been through the process. I mean, why you still insist of putting your money for a higher risk, higher return with higher risk, you know, investing in unit trust rather than putting yourself in FD? What you have to say to those people who are really kiasi, but they also want to grow the money, but they in the end, they just no, never mind lah, everything dangerous I put in the FD. But FD is a risk of itself, right? Because it diminish your purchasing power. So what you have to say to people who have this kind of thoughts?
Well, I would say that it differs from person to person. At that point of time, my intention was to grow a second retirement fund, my second ETF. And if I were to just put it into FD, okay, initially when I first started this, FD rate was pretty good. During the late 90s and at that point of time, FD rate was still about 8-9% return. So a lot of people also actually wouldn't mind dumping their funds into FDs. But along the way, you start seeing the FD rates start to drop, and the cost of living started to increase. You see it very how we call it, indirectly, and sometimes without realizing that, you know, cost of living has gone up tremendously. Like the example I always like to give is I visit this coffee shop that I like to go to for my ha-mee, my Hokkien mee.
Yeah.
Okay. When I first went there, the bowl of noodle cost 3 ringgit. After a year, it went up to 3.50.
Right.
It went up to 4 ringgit. Now, about 5 years down the line, the same bowl of noodles. Actually, I can say that the portion has shrank. The portion has shrank, but it now costs me 5 ringgit 50 cents for the same bowl of noodles.
Yep.
So while we say that, 50 cent increase, 60 cent increase is nothing significant, but if you take it on the percentage increase basis, that actually is very, very much bigger than the amount of returns that you get on your FD. So it actually shows that, if you put your money in your FD, you get the return. That additional amount, the interest that you get, will not be able to help you to overcome the increase in the cost of your daily life.
Yeah, and that is a silent killer, right?
It is a silent killer. People don't really see it. The other example I always say is, when I first came down to KL and I was taking a bus to from where I was staying down to KL for my studies and then to work. When I first came to KL, the bus fare cost 25 cents. Now the same bus fare, the same route, the bus fare is 3 ringgit.
Right.
So it may be already 30 years since the 25 cents, but for 25 cents to increase to 3 ringgit in 30 years is a huge increase. So people may say that 3 ringgit is nothing nowadays. Yep, 3 ringgit is nothing, but it's still the rate of increase, I don't think equates to the amount of increase in the salary of people out there.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And sorry. Yep.
No.
Please, pardon. I interrupt you. Yeah. You were saying?
No, I didn't have anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you have this awareness, when you are like in the early 40s. If someone were to talk to you about these topics in your early 20s, boleh masuk tak?
Well, it will take some convincing because at that age, unless the message is put across in a very subtle way and using an example that will trigger the awareness of a 20-year-old. I guess people around that age, when you first come out to start to work, this will be the least of your concern. But if you were to put it in a way that somehow fit into their phase of life at that point of time, that awareness can be created. It all depends on how the person is being convinced that he needs to think about his future. He needs to think about what he needs to do when he's older. I mean, to paraphrase an example that I keep on hearing when I attend seminars and everything like that, a financial planner used to always give this example. He got into financial planning after he left school. Then he talked to his friends in his early 20s together with him. So my friend, I'm now doing this. Would you like to let me talk to you about this? And his friend said, hey, I just started working. Let me enjoy myself. Come back to tell me in a few years' time.
Yeah.
A few years later, the financial planner comes back to him. Oh, now I got a girlfriend, we're getting married, and need to buy a house. I got no money to spare.
Yeah.
Come back again in a few years. And it goes on, and then when the guy reaches his 50s, the financial planner comes and says, so are you prepared now? The friend says, now? I think it's too late. Why did you come and tell me about this 20 years ago? And then the financial planner just says, I did, but you just wouldn't listen. So, well, I hope that not many people get caught in that situation, and people become more aware of the need to start earlier and be able to achieve whatever they want to achieve with a longer time frame.
Yeah, it's that case, right? When you have faith in this like kisah benar, right?
Yes, it is a sad case.
It's a sad case. I mean, I've been telling you the same thing. Then you are telling me you are too late for me to help you. But I've been offering my help for the past 20 years, and every time you actually rejected me.
You always have some reason. You always have some excuse to delay it and not act on it.
Yeah, and now you are at that position, and you actually realize how true it is, and you are glad that you have this awareness when you are like 40, early 40, which is still not too late.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that what you can say is it's not too late. You have to accept that you need to target for a lower target now, rather than what you would have been able to achieve if you had started very much younger.
Yeah.
So you have to accept that a lower standard of living, or to what I always call, don't get tempted to follow what everybody is following with the latest trends in the market.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's well said, John. Perhaps just two more questions. I think this two question is interrelated before we wrap. Is that what would you say to people who want to grow their money fast? I mean, you were in that mindset before when you started. So does it work or doesn't work? Because now you want to grow your money fast, but end up you are actually losing money and decreasing your net worth.
I would say that grow money fast is it all depends by what the objective is to grow money fast.
Objective.
And what is the ability of the person to take risk? Because I would say that in order to be able to grow money fast or quickly, the risk involved will be very much higher correspondingly.
Yes.
But what you need to be aware of is that first you need to be fully aware of what this plan is that is being put to you to grow your money fast. How achievable is it, and what is the track record of the plan that is being put forward to you? Because as everybody knows, these past years we have got grow money fast opportunities in the market where you can get 2% return every month, 3% return every month. Which, while it sounds extremely good, unless you are able to take the risk that whatever money I put into there to grow my money at 2 or 3% per month suddenly disappears, and the whole scheme is no longer workable. I must be able to also accept the loss, because what everybody says, the old saying is, there is no free lunch in the world. If somebody is paying you 3% per month, and the bank is paying you 3% per year,
something fishy.
Please be aware of the difference. And if you are still willing to put your money into the 3% per month, then please do not complain if something goes wrong and you lose everything.
Yeah. If there's something too good to be true, then
it's definitely
it's probably
not true.
It's probably not true. It is too
Yes.
good to be true. So last question, John. I just recalled that I talked to a friend. She said, I want she desire for a higher return of her money, yet she is a bit lazy to do homework. It's a couch potato when it comes to investing. So what's your view on that? You want to grow money?
Well,
but
I can say I was in that position as well. But what you need to have in this case is that you need to have a person to help you. Example, yourself, who is able to come and give me a presentation or a plan on. Okay, I tell you, look, I have faith in you. I want you to show me how to do this, but don't expect me to get actively involved. I will just give you the money. You do whatever is necessary within the agreed parameters. That means I have to agree with you beforehand. Look, it's a hands-off. You find whatever investment is necessary to achieve my objective for me, and then I must then accept the fact that if anything goes wrong, I have got to take responsibility for it as well, because I opt not to get involved in the actual investment process.
You mean the client, right? You mean someone who's
the client. So the client, in this case, must be aware that, okay, because I choose not to be involved in the investment process, I leave it to my financial advisor or my unit trust agent or my consultant, okay, that this is what we agree that we will try to achieve. Example, say, I want to achieve a return of 10% per annum. Okay, then the financial consultant will come and work out and say, okay, in order for you to achieve 10% return, this is the type of investment that you need to go into. Okay, then I say, then the client will ask you, how achievable is it? Well, based on past track record, which is not that necessarily what will happen in the future, we have been able to achieve this return. Okay, then if the client is okay with it, signs off and tells you, okay, do it, then the financial consultant can go ahead and carry out whatever is necessary. Of course, as a client, it will be nice to be updated, periodically on how the investment is doing. By periodically, I don't mean every other week I will call you up. Hey, see how is my fund doing? See how is my fund doing? It will be like every 3 months, every 6 months, you come back to me and say, okay, Mr. Klein, the amount you have invested through me, this is how it has been performing to date. Are you is on track? So are you happy with it? And then to go on accordingly. So for a person who is not willing to get involved or who doesn't want to actively participate in the investment process, then he has got to accept that, he has got to rely on his advisor, and he got to be first convinced that his advisor can be relied upon as well, and not someone who will disappear with the money, and that there should be some agreed review or status update to let the client know what is the financial situation at that point of time.
Okay. So it's
of course, the most important thing the client has to understand is, look, whatever investment we do, there's always upfront fee. So forget about achieving the growth in the first 6 months or 1 year, because if you take a standard unit trust scheme where you are paying about 5% upfront fee, in order for the fund, for your investment to break even, that investment must grow by at least 5 to 6% in the first year. Else you will actually still be losing money because of the upfront fee that is being paid. So it's only from the second and third year onwards that you actually see the return, the actual return coming in.
So I can summarize it. It should be on a very transparent basis. So so everyone knows what is their role to play. Everyone knows that we have agreed that, okay, it's not that there's no hanky-panky going on, and it should be everything transparent, and that is the most important part, I think, the integrity and transparency.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, John, thank you very much for your time today. And I guess there's a lot of readers who actually ask. I write an article on I Meet Someone Like You, and it's good to know from someone who has been there, done that, and it's not just from a common man on the street that can actually apply and achieve your financial freedom at the age of 56. So I wish you a very good retirement.
Thank you, CS. Let's keep in touch. I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities where we can share further on on various financial information.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Okay, you too. Have a good lunch later.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.